Ah, the Earth. So majestic, so round. Wait a minute. Who's been messing with my pictures of the Earth? Okay, here we go. Ah, the Earth. So majestic, so round. If I told you that the Earth was flat a few years ago, I'm pretty sure that I would be laughed out of the room, the town, the country, and possibly even the flat Earth itself. Well, okay, maybe not that last one, but until recently, with the rise of the internet and social media, only a very small handful of people subscribe to the belief in the flat Earth. But somehow now it has become an oddly common belief, at least online. So, what do people who believe in the flat Earth actually believe? This is actually a more important question than you might think. As well, think about it. If the Earth is flat, then what on earth are NASA, SpaceX, and the European Space Programme and the governments that support them all doing? How do satellites work? And why are the world's experts and governments lying about the shape of the planet? But before we get on to that, let's get some historic background. In ancient times, different cultures had different views about the shape of the Earth. Chinese thought that the Earth was square, Indians believed it was a bowl or a sphere, and the Greeks before Socrates are believed to have believed in a flat, disc-shaped Earth. But Aristotle named two prominent philosophers who stated that the Earth was round. The spherical view soon rapidly spread in the Greek world, and around 330 BC, Aristotle maintained, on the basis of physical theory and observational evidence, that the Earth was spherical and reported on an estimated circumference of the world. The knowledge of the round Earth was spread further by the Roman Empire, but there's a myth that after the fall of Rome, people went back to believing that the Earth was flat. This myth began in the 19th century. An early proponent of this myth was the American writer Washington Irving, who maintained that Christopher Columbus had to overcome the opposition of churchmen to gain support for his voyage of exploration. This myth was then furthered by John William Draper and Andrew Dickson White, who used it as a major element in their belief that there was a long-lasting and essential conflict between science and religion. But the study since then of medieval science has shown that most scholars in the Middle Ages, including those read by Christopher Columbus, maintained that the Earth was actually a sphere. Over time, the concept of a flat Earth fell into obscurity until in 1956, a guy called Samuel Shetton set up the International Flat Earth Research Society, better known as just the Flat Earth Society. This was just before the Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite known as Sputnik, and he responded to it by saying, "Would sailing round the Isle of Wight prove it were spherical? It's just the same for those satellites." His primary aim was to reach children before they were convinced about the spherical Earth, and despite plenty of publicity, the space race eroded his support in Britain until 1967, when he started to become famous due to the interest in space caused by the Apollo program. In 1972, a guy called Charles Johnson started a branch in the US and attracted around 3,000 members and began proposing evidence of a conspiracy against the flat Earth. The society declined well into the 90s, following a fire at the headquarters in California and the death of Johnson in 2001. It was revived as a website in 2004 by Daniel Shenton, and he believed that no one had provided proof that the world was not flat. So, what do flat earthers believe? I've had quite a bit of experience speaking to people who believe in the flat earth, and I know a number of them in real life. And naturally, of course, they have different thoughts and feelings about it, but here are some of the stuff that the ones I know believe. So, number 1, there's a plasma dome that you can't get out of. According to many flat earthers, the Earth is surrounded by a dome which we can't escape. And according to one of the guys I know, who we'll just call Bob, this dome is 70 miles above us and nothing can get out of it. Bob also claims that there's plenty of YouTube videos proving this, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. Another flat earther who we'll just call Ted, gave me a book which said that all telecommunications used the dome to bounce signals back to where they needed to go. Number 2. Some think that the sun and moon are also both flat and disc-shaped. Some of the flat earthers I know explain the sun and moon by saying they're flat discs which travel along the dome. The proof, of course, is that we never see the dark side of the moon, and a number of them have even told me that the moon gives off its own light. 3. The world's governments are hiding the fact that the earth is flat. This is kind of the natural progression of this theory, as flat earthers believe that the governments know and suppresses the information about the flat earth for some devious purpose. And this leads naturally to the next belief some flat earthers have. 4. A flat earth proves Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. Now, religious writings contain phrases which speak poetically about the four corners of the earth's pillars, and so forth. And some flat earthers believe that the flat earth proves their religion to be true, and that the governments are hiding this to suppress this fact. Boko Haram, for instance, believes this, maintaining that the flat earth proves their religion. But note, this is the same group that believes that there's no water cycle and that Allah just makes more water when it's used up. 5. Satellites are fake and can only fly for a short amount of time. Flat earthers admit that you can see satellites at times, but maintain that they just fly for a short amount of time and come down to the ground after that. Bob has suggested that they don't fly and are a ruse, and that they're too big to be propelled into the air. 6. There's no such thing as gravity. For some reason, some flat earthers claim there's no such thing as gravity, at least when it's not going straight down towards the earth. The reason for this is they reject the idea that a round object such as the earth could hold anything in place. But a quick look at the gravitational pull of large ships in the ocean could quickly get rid of this notion. 7. There is no South Pole. The North Pole, according to the flat earthers, is the centre of the planet, and the South Pole is the end of the world and surrounds the whole Earth, like the edges of a bowl. Expeditions to the South Pole are thus all fake, and can only lead to disaster. One flat earther even told me you can't buy a south-facing compass, but well, I don't really think he thought that one through. In conclusion, there are many more beliefs than this, and as I said before, not all flat earthers believe the exact same things, but you can see how these beliefs can lead to quite extreme thoughts and paranoia. This is why flat earthers tend to believe in things like the New World Order, a belief that there's no conflicts in the world, and that all news is faked, as well as other things. In this video, I didn't really challenge the views of flat earthers that much, but next time we'll look at some arguments for and against the flat earth, which I have encountered. If you have any thoughts, know anyone who believes in the flat earth, or maybe even believe it yourself and disagree with what I've said, why not leave a comment below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. If you would like to see more videos and you would like to support the show, then please subscribe, like, comment, and make sure to share the video on sites like Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter. Thanks again.